Good morning, televiewers of Mamida Prime Television. You're on to their favorite bilingual program, The Brief, which is always dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. Today is the last edition for the week. And of course, the newspapers are focusing on the upcoming senatorial elections in Cameroon. And this just ended Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. What actually happened in Buea, as we are told that the victim of a bomb explosion that happened on Mountain Day Race or Mountain Race Day has finally given up the ghost at the Buea Regional Hospital. We shall talk about that in this edition of the program. For the past 4 days and counting, the newspapers have been talking about Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, the different explosions that happened or occurred on that day in Buea. We shall equally talk about Nigerian presidential elections that the president-elect has called on opposition leaders, or those who are saying that the elections were not free, fair and transparent. He has called on them to work hand in glove with him to push Nigeria or see into the development of Nigeria. We will dwell on that and many other headlines that the newspapers have for us this morning. Liliane Foguen is with me in the studio. Let's have the headlines in the French language newspapers. Bonjour Liliane.
Bonjour Lasha Kinsley, bonjour à vous fidèles téléspectateurs de l'émission Débrief du 3 mars 2023. Merci de nous recevoir chez vous pour cette dernière édition. Alors, nous ouvrons la première partie de la revue de la presse avec le quotidien Émergence. À sa grande une, il parle de l'affaire Martinez-Zogo, la stratégie du pourrissement. C'est à lire en page 3. Un petit titre, le journal s'intéresse à l'économie digitale. Le ZLECAf au cœur du festival Femmes numériques. Le quotidien Mutation titre ce matin Cameroun, Nigeria, Bola, Tinubu, Enouf, Boko Haram, Bakassi, crise sécessionniste. Les dossiers d'intérêt commun existent. Quelle sera la méthode du président nouvellement élu? L'analyse d'un géostratège, les détails sont à lire en page 7. Le quotidien Le Jour, un kiosque dans sa grande une, s'intéresse sur les dépenses de santé. Couverture santé universelle, où en est-on? Les enquêtes sont à lire en page 2 et 3. Un petit titre, nécrologie. Cori Dengemo tire sa révérence. L'ancienne chanteuse principale du groupe Macas et promotrice culturelle est décédée hier. Le quotidien Cameroun Tribune parle de l'entrée et séjour des étrangers au Cameroun. Les nouvelles règles, un décret du président de la République signé hier, fixe les conditions d'entrée, de séjour et de sortie des étrangers au Cameroun conformément aux dispositions de la loi du 10 janvier 1997, modifiée et complétée le 14 juillet 2022. Lis l'intégralité du décret en pages 4 à 9. Le journal à capitaux publics, un petit titre, elle s'appelait Cori, la chanteuse voix féminine du groupe Macaz, entre 1997 et 2010, est décédée hier à Paris des suites d'une courte maladie selon ses proches. Elle avait 45 ans. L'article est à lire en page 39. Le quotidien L'économie à sa grande une s'intéresse à la fusion BVMAC Douala Stock Exchange. Le bilan des activités 3 ans après. Il a été présenté hier 2 mars 2023 à Douala par Abbas Mahamat Talish, gouverneur de la Banque des États de l'Afrique centrale, et Louise Banga Tolo, directeur général de la Bourse des valeurs immobilières de l'Afrique centrale. C'est à lire en page 3. En page 5, le journal parle du transport aérien. Plus de 5 milliards de francs CFA de la BDR pour soutenir le plan de développement d'Afrijet. Le bi-hebdomadaire ce matin s'interroge. Polémique, Gaoundéré est-elle la ville la plus chère du Cameroun? Les réponses se trouvent en page 4 et en page 5. Vous retrouverez l'article sur l'assistance. L'extrême nord bénéficie de 12 milliards de francs CFA de l'Union européenne. Alors, mesdames, messieurs, c'est tout pour la première partie de la revue de la presse ce matin sur votre émission Débrief. Rendez-vous donc dans les kiosques. N'oubliez pas qu'acheter un journal, c'est participer de manière significative à la revue de la presse au Cameroun. Lasha pour la deuxième partie en anglais.
Thank you. Liliane, Foguen, thank you, televiewers of my media prime, for staying tuned with us. Let's kickstart this morning with the Guardian Post newspaper. The paper is focusing on this strategic partnership between ICT University of Cameroon and the Amazon Web Academy. ICT University navigates deep, joins US-based Amazon Web Academy, digging further the sub-Sahara Africa's leading digital institution. The ICT University has joined United States-based Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services are academy. According to the paper, the renowned academy provides higher education institutions with a ready-to-take cloud computing curriculum. Get full details in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper on page 3. We stay with the Guardian Post newspaper to talk about the visit to school in Yaoundé of British Council. British Council hails quality of education at Mada International Complex. On to this other newspaper, Municipal Updates newspaper this morning. On its front page is focusing on the enthronement of 2 Bakundu paramount rulers in the southwest region of Cameroon. Commotion as 2 Bakundu paramount rulers to be installed same day in the southwest region of Cameroon. Senatorial election, Northwest SDF unveils a manifesto to woo CPDM councillors in that part of the country. You can get full details on the manifesto of the Social Democratic Front Party that was unveiled recently in the northwest region of the country, where the party will be running for the senatorial election. Only in this edition of the said newspaper. From amber fighter to local administrator, writes Municipal Updates newspaper. The paper is telling us this morning that former ex-combatant of the secessionist movement has succeeded into the school that trains local administrator in the southwest region of the country. An Ambazonia fighter who dropped arms recently has succeeded the NASLA concours. Full details in this edition of the said newspaper. On to the Eden. The Eden this morning is focusing on the death of the CEO of Eden Media Group. Our boss is back, writes the Eden newspaper. And the mortal remains of Eden Media Group's Chief Executive Officer, Chief Zakse Zongandembu, who died in India while on a routine medical checkup, is back in the country. The remains of the media guru was on board an Ethiopian airline that landed at the tarmac of the Douala International Airport at exactly 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday, 28 February 2023. At the airport were his family members, elites of the Bakosi community in Limbe, business partners, staff of the Eden Media Group, colleagues, friends, and well-wishers before being transported to the Buya Regional Hospital Annex Mortuary. Full details on pages 5 through 8 of this edition of the Eden newspaper. Ahead of senatorial elections, CBDM Senator for Isangele in the southwest region of Cameroon, Rebecca Ankie, dies. We are told that the CBDM substantive candidate for the Senate, Rebecca Ankie, from Isengele in the Bakassi Peninsula, reportedly died on March 1 in Yaoundé after a protracted illness. She has been senator from the southwest region since 2013. We end this morning with the Voice newspaper. The Voice this morning is interested in the outing of the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson Rene Emmanuel Sadi on the case of murdered journalist Martine Zogo. Amidst criticized limited communication, government spokesperson warns against reporting proceedings of the said case. You can get full details on the outing of Communication Minister Emmanuel Sadi in this edition of the newspaper. Nigerian elections, Tinubu wins Africa's gerontocracy consolidated. Digging further, Nigeria's President-elect Bola Tinubu has reached out to opposition parties and those disappointed by his victory in the weekend election, promising that renewed hope has dawned in Africa's most populous nation. Tinubu, the candidate for the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) party, was on Wednesday declared winner after defeating two of his closest rivals in the most competitive elections for decades. Full details in this edition of the Voice newspaper. Thank you so much, televiewers, for watching this other edition of the program. Of course, the headlines that I just read to you. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. We are receiving a young and active member of the frontline opposition political party, the SDF. Dieudonne is with me in the studio. He's coming all the way from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Chi, good morning. We are glad to have you this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning to your colleague. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Good morning to your televiewers, to our televiewers, sorry. I want to say a special good morning to the great family of the SDF, particularly to the national chairman, Nijon Frundi. Not forgetting, of course, the candidates of the SDF for the senatorial elections in the Northwest who are currently on the field, going on with campaigns. To them, I want to extend the encouragements of the national chairman and the solidarity of the entire family of the Social Democratic Front. I want to also use this opportunity to reiterate to the national chairman of the party, of the SDF, the support of and the overwhelming majority of SDF militants all over the national territory and beyond as he pilots the affairs of the party at this very critical moment of the life of our party.
Why did you say critical moment? How critical are the moments?
Well, we are not making, I'm not creating anything, Mr. Lasha. You know, the SDF is in the phase of a major transition, first within the party. And then, of course, the nation Cameroon is also awaiting major political transitions. So the moment is very critical, and it is very important for televiewers and those that are watching us to understand that moments of transition like this are often characterized by a lot of coups. You know, in 1982, there were two coups. The political coup that saw Ahijo being replaced by Paul Biya, and then later on a military coup trying to oust Paul Biya. In the SDF, as we talk, there has been a political coup. You know, when you have your Secretary General who convenes a NEC meeting but organizes some to boycott that NEC meeting for some reason.
But the Constitution permits that.
A NEC meeting. Let me explain. Let me explain. Yes. Let me explain. The Constitution does not say you should boycott NEC meetings. The Constitution rather says
but
that
there can be a meeting. There can be a meeting called by 2/3 of majority of your party. If I'm not getting the
yes, of course,
yes,
of
with
course.
all the chairman present,
yes,
they can take resolutions on behalf of the
yes,
party.
you can ask for a NEC meeting to be called if you constitute that 2/3.
Yes.
Okay, but we are talking about an attempted political coup in the SDF. And when I'm saying this, I'm not creating something extraordinary. I just want to make our viewers understand that the SDF has gone through a major stage in its political life. We have already survived this political coup because it has been attempted. For your Secretary General, you know, Secretary General and the National Chairman, the Secretary General is an appointee of the National Chairman. If the National Chairman appoints a Secretary General, asks him to convene a NEC meeting, he convenes a NEC meeting, and by some means, he is with some other militants not coming. That is a political coup. I'm not inventing anything. And they have a message that they were sending forward with respect to that coup. The message, we have heard the message, we know what the stakes are, but I just want to reassure Cameroonians that are watching us that what they are seeing in the SDF is what happens in the life of great political parties, in the lives of nations when there are major transitions, and the SDF has already survived that political coup. So in the days ahead, we will be drawing lessons from that political coup and see how we manage the situation in the best interest of the Cameroonian masses who are looking on us as the only hope for them.
En ce moment, le Social Democratic Front passe des moments critique, comme vous l'avez décrié tout à l'heure. Le comité exécutif du littoral, avec sa tête Jean-Michel Nithieu, demande la démission de Ni Dionfoudi. Il ne veut plus Ni Dionfoudi du chairman à la tête du SDF parce que en ce moment, il prend des décisions qui ne sont pas unanimes au sein du parti.
L'intérêt du parti.
Bon, c'est demander une démission du président national. C'est leur droit, hein. Ils peuvent dire ce qu'ils veulent. Mais moi, j'aimerais les rappeler juste de l'article 7.2 B de la constitution du parti. Qu'il dit que une fois que tu es militant, tu t'engages à respecter les règles, les statuts, les directives, les résolutions du parti, les décisions du parti. Cela veut dire quoi? Cela implique tout simplement qu'une fois que tu es militant, même quand tu as des problèmes, et dans notre texte, il est clairement indiqué que tu peux ne pas être d'accord, mais il y a les voies et les moyens dans les textes que tu dois utiliser pour te faire entendre.
Et si ces voies ont été utilisées et ils n'ont pas été entendus?
Oui, c'est très bien votre question et je veux bien vous répondre. Le texte dit tu t'engages, la Constitution dit tu t'engages à respecter les règles, les textes du parti, les décisions, les directives. Et parmi ces règles-là, il est indiqué que si tu n'es pas d'accord avec une décision, d'ailleurs, les décisions dans un parti politique ne font jamais unanimité. Hein. Ce n'est pas parce que je suis ici que vous allez croire que toutes les décisions qui ont été prises, je suis tout à fait satisfait. Non, ça ne peut pas faire unanimité. Mais on a dit que si tu sens que une décision est tellement mauvaise que tu ne peux pas la subir, il y a les voies de faire l'appel. Et vous devez suivre ces voies-là jusqu'au Congrès. Et quand vous entrez en tant que militant, vous vous engagez que dès lors que j'aurai un problème, je dois suivre aussi les voies d'appel jusqu'au Congrès. À l'heure où nous parlons, il n'y a pas encore eu de Congrès. Mais les gens estiment déjà, dans un mépris total des textes de parti, parce que quand ils disent que le chairman viole les textes, c'est un langage qu'ils ont encore approuvé, parce que c'est une institution compétente, que c'est le NEC, pour le moment, en attendant le Congrès, qui peut s'asseoir et évaluer un appel pour dire que, ok, bon, on a évalué cet appel, on a trouvé que le président a mal fait. C'est à ce moment qu'on peut parler des affaires illégales. Mais ce qu'on peut parler aujourd'hui, c'est leur illégalité. L'illégalité de ceux-là qui sont en train de reprocher au chairman une certaine illégalité. Mais ils sont dans l'illégalité parce que d'abord, ils prennent le débat de la vie politique du parti dans les médias, sans autorisation. D'abord, ils créent des groupes qui ne sont pas connus par le SDF, quand vous entendez le G27, et il est interdit dans les statuts du parti, dont ils ont juré de respecter, de créer ce genre de choses. On n'a pas interdit aux gens de s'asseoir et discuter. Sauf que si vous vous asseyez et vous discutez, vous suivez les institutions du parti, telles que vous avez promis de les suivre pour poser vos doléances. Aujourd'hui, ils font une fixation sur le chairman. Il faut le dire, s'il vous plaît, il faut le dire.
Du littoral que le SDF a mis sur pied,
oui,
qui est en train de concrétiser ou bien de porter critique sur la gestion du chairman.
Non, oui, je dois dire ici que je vous ai bien dit qu'il est normal de critiquer. Okay. D'ailleurs, le SDF est un parti démocratique et la critique fait partie de nos valeurs. Il est normal de critiquer. Mais nous disons que quand il faut critiquer, rentrer dans... suivez les textes pour faire vos critiques. Mais ceux-là, c'est l'une des choses qu'ils ne vous disent pas. Madame, je pose la question et je pose à vos téléspectateurs. Si vous avez l'un de vos collaborateurs, vous dites à votre collaborateur, il y a un aspect de votre maison, pardon, s'il vous plaît, dans le respect des textes de notre maison, organisez cet aspect de notre maison pour que notre maison ait un ordre. Si la personne la refuse d'organiser la maison, ça veut dire que la personne la veut quoi? La personne la veut la désorganisation. Yes. La personne la veut détruire. On a envoyé l'honorable Nietzsche, s'il vous plaît. On a envoyé l'honorable Nietzsche, président de commission, allez-y réorganiser la région du Nord. Ils refusent sans raison. Ils vont vous sortir de prétexte que le président régional était malade. Alors que c'était prétexte inexistant parce que le président régional n'est pas la structure du parti dans toute la région du Nord. Il y a bien d'autres personnes. Donc, Quand quelqu'un refuse de réorganiser, bon, il faut se plaindre que c'est le chairman qui a fait ceci. Et il faut le dire, les décisions qui ont été prises sont les décisions du NEC.
Dieudonne,
Il ne faut pas faire une fixation sur le chairman. Le chairman agit dans un cadre institutionnel bien établi et jusqu'à preuve de contraire, ses actes sont légaux.
Dieudonne, apparently, from what we are reading and what Cameroonians are saying, it would appear Nijong Frundi has projected himself as a dictator. If you look at the past years, so many brains, fine brains, have been sacked from the Social Democratic Front Party. Each time you have somebody that comes up with an idea that threatens the interests of the national chairman, as what most of those people have said, and they are still saying, the chairman uses Article 8.2 on the person.
All right.
It's a problem the chairman or the constitution of the party, that particular article that Nijon has been using
the problem is
you use Kawala, Benmuna, you can count Professor Elizabeth Tamanjong, you can count all the names, the big names.
Professor Tamanjong should resign.
Under pressure.
And it is
under right. pressure to resign.
You resign for several reasons. Who is not facing pressure? Do you know the pressure the chairman is facing? Do you know what hell the chairman has gone to as national chairman of the SDA? He should have resigned long ago. If you discover that a political party is not child's play, you don't come in to just sit down and you feel that everything is just going to be okay. You have to be ready. If at one point in time, somebody who willfully entered decides to resign, you respect that. And it shouldn't be an issue. It's just but normal. There were people you said who resigned. Kawala resigned. Professor Tamanjong resigned. I think Professor Tozo Songani, he received the A2. You take Professor Ben Muna, he auto-excluded himself. You people of the media, let me clarify this. Don't talk about exclusion. What just happened and what has happened in the case of late Ben Muna, may so rest in peace, was auto-exclusion. The NEC only sits down to...
What about the last NEC meeting that excluded these 27 plus members?
The NEC meeting did not exclude them. I still insist on correcting this language. The NEC meeting only took note that some people, by virtue of certain activities they have carried out, these people, they are showing that they are not more in the house.
But the people are saying that they are in the house.
No.
They are saying that they are in the house. No, they are saying. They are still saying.
They are saying
that they are in the house.
The constitution of the party tells who is in the house and who is not in the house.
Is the constitution just?
And decisions of the party.
Is that article, that particular article just?
The constitution, pardon?
Is that particular article 8.2 just?
That article of
is it not done? Was it not crafted in favor of the national chairman as a tool that the national chairman will use to hammer?
Let me explain.
To hammer those that rise up against.
Maybe you should know how A2 came about. A2 was never proposed by the chairman in the first place. A2 was proposed by a militant of the party.
But are there no bad laws? Don't you think there are bad laws?
And when you have all our constitution is being adopted at the convention. I have much respect for the institutions of the SDF. I have respect for the text of the SDF. Because when you fail to respect them, it means you do not respect the convention. It is the militants of the SDF that came in and said, we need to put this article to check people who at one point in time think that because of one reason or the other, they can toe party lines and just do what they want. They have put the A2 there. The militants of the SDF are not stupid. If they feel, and it will be at the convention, if they feel that this A2 is no longer necessary, they will still repeal it. But for now, there is A2, and it is not the national chairman that is sacking anybody. It is the constitution that permits the NEC to notice that you have sacked yourself. And I want to be very pragmatic about this situation. Section 7 sub 2b says that you have to respect the constitution, the rules, the regulations, decisions, and directives of the party, which means that even if you have problems, you have to follow the different means of appeal right up to the convention. We are talking now, we have not had the convention, but people in total disregard for those texts think that the party should now be in court. In other words, they have gone out of the house.
But
to fight
the constitution allows that, right?
No, the constitution says
you can call the attention of the chairman if he is violating the rules.
Which rule did the chairman violate? Like I've told you,
appointing people.
No. I will not even get to the details. Yes. I will not even get to the details.
No, why don't you want to get to the details?
No, I will not get to the details. I will just explain this to you.
Yes.
I will just explain this to you and to our televiewers. I just want people to understand.
Yes.
The chairman, as it is now, the NEC and the national chairman, they have posed a certain number of actions. The chairman has done appointments at the shadow cabinet, which is his prerogative. He has done appointments at the General Secretariat, which is his prerogative. The NEC has empowered the chairman to co-opt members into NEC. And the Constitution says that when some members, the members of any executive are no longer available, that executive should co-opt members. And the NEC performed its duty by saying that, Mr. Chairman, we are asked to co-opt members, but we as an executive empower you to go on and do it. We approve it. Up to today, the NEC has not refused. That they do not accept what the national chairman did. So I'm telling you,
has Frundi fallen short of 8.2?
Pardon?
Has Frundi fallen short of 8.2?
Has
Frundi fallen short of 8.2?
No, please. I'm telling you this. I have not come here to be a court of the SDF. I'm simply telling you what it is, not what ought to be or what you want to hear. I'm telling you that as it stands, the national chairman and the NEC, they are acting within the institutional framework of the party. Their acts are legal until proven. Until the contrary is proven. And the contrary can only be proven when you appeal those acts to the NEC or to the convention and they take a contrary decision.
But the party text says that you don't exclude somebody or sanction somebody from the party without calling the person to a disciplinary council. But the 27 plus members.
I will be very pragmatic. They
were excluded. They didn't call them for a disciplinary meeting.
Le comité exécutif, le NEC demande donc de révisiter la politique interne du STF, donc de convoquer un comité extraordinaire. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de ça? Est-ce que c'est pas un début de solution?
No.
To answer my question before you get to her.
Yes. No. Let me.
Did your party call for these 27 plus members to discipline them before sanctioning?
When you yes, please let me answer.
Yes.
Exclusion. Yes. And don't interrupt me and get the precision very well. Okay. Exclusion.
Go ahead.
Exclusion is different from auto exclusion. Exclusion means you have somebody within the house who has started behaving a type. And you call the person within the house and say, sit here. You sit here, we do this, you do this. You have a disciplinary committee and you do this, And finally, after you have listened to the person, even after establishing the fault of the person and maybe for some other reason or whatsoever, which you people have established, you see that the way this man is behaving inside this house, it seems like if he continues being in this house and behaves like this, he is going to destroy this house. You now take the person and say, look, this house has rules. You are no longer abiding by these rules and you are not ready to abide anytime soon. We now say, go out. That is exclusion. Auto exclusion, okay, is as good as resignation, is as good as death. Now, when somebody resigns, do you go and bring the person in front of a disciplinary committee?
But these people are saying that they are not auto-excluded. These people are saying that they are not auto-excluded themselves.
If somebody resigns, do you go and bring the person in front of a disciplinary committee?
Pourquoi tu veux démissionner? Il faut dialoguer avec cette personne. C'est qu'il a déposé sa démission pour une raison. Il faut donc l'amener, dire voici pourquoi vous avez déposé. J'ai besoin de vous dans mon parti. Pourquoi vous voulez partir?
Non. Quand vous avez déjà démissionné, on prend acte.
Il a déposé la démission.
On prend acte. Non. On n'a pas à suivre les procédures. Ce n'est pas venu vous demander pardon. S'il faut même dialoguer, ça serait un dialogue informel.
Let us listen
on prend
to this
acte
video.
Que vous avez démissionné. Comme on avait pris acte que vous êtes devenu membre. Quand vous êtes mort, on prend acte que tel existait et tel n'existait plus.
Chief, please, let's listen to this video. Let's listen to this video.
Our audience are listening.
Yes.
Our audience are listening. These people, they are saying that they have excluded them. Nobody has has excluded
But
them.
they are saying they are still part of the party.
When you have total disregard and tell lies to the Cameroonian people,
mais
then
ils refusent de parti, ils veulent être dans le
you have
parti.
total disregard. Mais pour être dans le parti, et il y a des éminents juristes parmi eux, ils devraient savoir qu'ils sont liés par les textes de ce parti, à savoir faire leur recours jusqu'au Congrès.
Okay,
et à savoir qu'ils ne peuvent pas amener le parti au tribunal alors qu'ils n'ont pas encore épuisé les voies de recours.
Ils n'ont pas étudié leurs propositions parce qu'ils demandent de réviser et de revoir la politique nationale et de voir les membres du comité exécutif national.
C'est leur droit. Il faut aller dans notre constitution. Notre constitution a été modifiée plusieurs fois. On a boycotté les élections. En 1999, on a décidé de ne plus boycotter. Après, on boycotte.
Mais le temps change, les conditions de vie changent. Que la politique ne concorde plus avec la politique d'antan.
Nous adaptons. Quand le temps change, nous adaptons. Nous acceptons toutes les propositions. Et je peux te dire que les propositions dont on fait ces militants, que je respecte d'ailleurs, beaucoup avec j'ai travaillé, des propositions qu'ils ont faites, je peux te dire que on va y réfléchir dessus. Mais le problème, c'est que...
ils sont d'ailleurs, parce que vous les avez...
Non, mais ils peuvent encore venir.
Ils sont en train de dire qu'ils sont encore
membres militants du parti, ils peuvent venir, ils peuvent encore faire appel, ils peuvent revenir au Congrès, dire que non, nous, on veut revenir. Vous faites appel vous venez, au Congrès et vous revenez. D'ailleurs même, la majorité de ces militants, ce sont les aînés. Hein. C'est les gens qui sont... Ils peuvent aussi s'asseoir maintenant et penser comme le chairman pour dire que nous sommes aussi en train de partir, on est en train de laisser la place à la jeunesse. Et je souhaite que ceux qui sont vraiment SDF parmi eux, qui sont les aînés, qui sont mes papas et sont mes mamans, reviennent dans le SDF pour accompagner la jeunesse de ces SDF qui les ont soutenus par le passé pour qu'ils soient ce qu'ils sont devenus en matière politique. Je ne dis pas qu'avant d'être, ils n'étaient rien, mais je dis juste qu'ils peuvent encore revenir parce que ce n'est pas pour... ils sont aussi... presque au même niveau du chairman où ils peuvent aussi dire aujourd'hui que nous sommes en train de partir, il faut qu'on travaille pour donner une bonne relève à la jeunesse. Donc ils sont bienvenus au Congrès, aux populations et aux Camerounais d'observer l'humilité de ceux-là, parce que quand tu entends une certaine arrogance qui vient de la bouche de certains, tu commences à te questionner de la bonne intention de leurs actes. Et il faut aussi souligner à ceux qui nous regardent que le chairman, en tant qu'homme politique, quand on a même déposé ses demandes en violation du texte du parti, parce que quand tu appelles G27 n'est pas un statut du parti, mais le chairman est un homme politique et l'honnête, on a accepté pour suivre ce qu'ils veulent dire. Le chairman a même voulu une réunion avec eux.
You are no longer listening to me.
De proposer cette réunion afin de choisir les membres du comité exécutif national lors du congrès.
Comment?
Ils sont en train de faire une proposition
de
revoir les membres du comité exécutif national du SDF.
Non, mais
parce qu'ils ne sont pas d'accord avec ceux qui sont là maintenant.
Non, les textes ont été appliqués. Si vous pensez qu'elles n'ont pas été bien appliquées, vous faites appel. Et si vous faites appel selon les statuts, vous revenez au NEC. Mais si c'est aller faire appel d'ailleurs, c'est à peine perdu. Mais je peux dire que nous sommes en train de réfléchir là-dessus. Il y a certaines choses pertinentes qu'ils ont dit. Hein, et je peux vous dire que après 32 ans de la vie d'un parti politique, c'est normal qu'il y ait une réflexion profonde. Et ceux-là qui sont en train de dire ne vont pas vous dire qu'ils ont le monopole de ces réflexions. Je peux vous garantir que le chairman lui-même ne dort pas.
Bénéficie de la faveur du chairman.
Comment?
Le vice-président,
le vice-président
c'est pour ça qu'il
le vice-président, avec le respect que j'ai pour les institutions du SDF et ses textes, le vice-président est un collaborateur du chairman.
Le premier vice-président. Mais il bénéficie de la faveur du chairman.
Ça, ce sont les prétextes fallacieux. Il faut qu'ils vous disent quel genre de faveur. Je vous dis qu'il est le premier collaborateur du chairman, élu par le Congrès. C'est-à-dire, le Congrès lui est élu, on dit, monsieur le chairman, travaille avec celui-ci. Ils sont à 5, hein, mais il est le premier. Donc le chairman peut collaborer et le texte dit que même moi, je peux bénéficier de la délégation du chairman. Le chairman peut décider que je fasse quelque chose. Mais le vice-président aussi, en tant que premier agent du chairman, si le chairman lui demande de faire ceci, faire cela, après, est-ce que ça fait problème? Ça devient une faveur pour quoi? Mais ceux-là qui parlent là, ils ont reçu des faveurs du chairman. Ils sont même ceux-là qui ont même peut-être reçu des faveurs du chairman. Hein. Il y a même parmi eux l'autre qui avait organisé le 25e anniversaire du SDF. C'est ça, les gens se sont plaints que pourquoi est-ce que le chairman a seulement choisi celui-là? À l'époque, on pouvait dire que c'est une faveur. Mais on n'a pas crié au secours. Aujourd'hui, le chairman, il faut détruire le chairman à cause de l'honorable aussi. Et il faut dire que le SDF est au-delà même du chairman. Le SDF est au-delà de l'honorable aussi. Il faut juste respecter les textes, respecter les institutions. Que ceux-là qui ont été élus aussi dans un congrès respectent ce congrès. Et s'ils pensent qu'il faut des modifications profondes dans les textes du SDF, ils savent là où ça se passe. Ça se passe au Congrès. Allons-y donc au Congrès. Et parmi eux, c'est les aînés. Je leur appelle, cher papa, chère maman, revenez au parti pour dire, nous voulons maintenant accompagner la jeunesse à prendre la relève de votre parti, de notre parti.
Let's go to the production machines and find out this video that the producer is proposing for us to watch, and then after that we'll end the program with a video.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, accept the fraternal and warm greetings of the G27 Plus group to this exchange we are having today. We are very grateful that you have made yourself available at such short notice. We invited you today for you to bear witness with us and transmit to the Cameroonian public our fight to bring back their darling party, the SDF, to its original goals set by the founding fathers, but which over the years have been replaced with interests and intentions that have nothing to do with social democracy, power to the people, transparency, and the respect of our Constitution. This fight has not been easy internally because the present leadership has been bent and is still bent to transform the party to an apparatus to gain some privileges for themselves from the regime in place. The intransigence of the present top party leadership to listen to the voice of reason, which is to respect the constitution of our party, has pushed us to take them to court, where we have filed 2 cases that will be coming up at the beginning of next month, March 2023. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, before we take you to the heart of the cases in court, let me give you a brief trajectory of our efforts to resolve these issues internally, but which have not yielded any fruits because of the national chairman and the first vice president resolve to continue to use the party to acquire personal gains from some members of the Yaoundé regime. After the disgraceful performance of our candidate, Joshua Ossi, in the 2018 presidential election, and considering the fact that he manifested serious incapacity to mobilize the party for campaigns necessary to break grounds in this election, tension was at its peak within the party. This tension was worsened by the fact that the candidate was unable to even pay his election deposit, and party members had to pay it entirely, despite the fact that during election primaries, he had promised that he had billions of francs available to finance the election. To calm the tension, 2 commissions were created by the National Executive Committee, NEC. 1, a commission of reconciliation headed by Senator Chief Chuachwang Paul, second vice national president of the party, to probe into what really led to the catastrophic performance of the candidate, seek for reconciliation, and propose a way forward.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Producer. Dieudonne, this is an internal pressure group within the Social Democratic Front Party. You listen to what they just read there during their last meeting. They are accusing the national chairman and the first vice national chairman of using the party to acquire personal gains.
The presumption of innocence is a constitutional principle in our country.
Yes.
You are presumed innocent until proven guilty. And talking about internal pressure group, the SDF is a political party whose role, even in political science, is to aggregate demands, comprising hearing from pressure groups out of the party. Okay? Now, if they say they are in a pressure group within the party, that is already an element of illegality, which I keep pointing out to you. But that said, it's a political party, and they may want to express one thing or the other, but you should not go out to the press making affirmations without proof. There have been, many of these things have been said so many times, and we are yet to see the proofs. They have joined others who at one point in time said the national chairman has billions in bank account. I said, okay. The national chairman said, okay, please, if you know where these billions are, please identify where these billions are and get it and bring it back to the Cameroonian people. They are going the same way. Most of them, when they are calling the name of Honorable OC and all that, let them bring proofs of their allegations, concrete proofs of their allegations, and serious allegations like that. In some cases, some would have been sued for defamation. But let them bring concrete proofs of their allegation, and let us look at it as a party, following the party's constitution.
There are lawyers in that pressure group. They are talking about people like
no, please, no, please. There is not many. They have the SDF has had many lawyers, and what you have to appreciate is that the SDF is a democratic school in this country. If you are talking about lawyers, you know that we have had batoniers. We know we had former batonier Barrister Sama. We had former batonier Ben Muna, who also went out of the party. So it's not a case to come and talk about lawyers' profiles. I want to use this opportunity before I forget, because each time we come here and we are only profiling some people as too important and some people are less important, I want to say my sincere thanks to the 6 that died in 1990. These were not 6 lawyers or 6 whatsoever. There were 6 people who were yearning for genuine positive change. And I want to believe that wherever they are, they will be accompanying us in the fight for that positive change. I want to celebrate the Mamite Kumbangs for the great efforts they made to protect the national chairman and the party. I want to celebrate the vanguards, who often people don't talk about them, but they have played a very important role in the implantation of the party. I want to celebrate the so many who have been working for this party. Nobody has ever seen them, but they are working. I want to celebrate the diaspora. There are so many of them who are so concerned about the way forward for this party. Nobody ever talks about them, but they are working. I want to celebrate them. The SDF is not an elitist party. It is a party for everybody. And like I have said, these people who have done what they have done, the acts have been posed. We have made a lot of efforts to discuss with them, but the doors are still open. But now they will now come in as former militants, because the chairman still receives people who are not militants of the SDF. They cannot come as former militants, still see the chairman. If they want to see him, it's good and fine. They can come to the convention, they can appeal to the convention, and they apply to have the membership of the party again. At least because of their senior nature, they have, if they really want to, they have a role, and I wish that they think about playing that role, to come back and say, no matter what has happened, we have to accompany the next generation of the SDF. You cannot be fighting. They are not fighting. They are giving the impression that they are fighting the national chairman. Mr. Lasha, it's like somebody who has been with Paul Biya for the past 40 years, coming up now. And that is what I've often decried with what we call opposition in this country. You have people who stay with the president for 20 years, 30 years. When they are old and they think that they are going on retirement, they now come and tell you that we are now opposing Biya. You are not opposing Biya. You are just you just think that you just have to sit. They cannot get up now to say they are opposing the national chairman. Section 82 did not start existing today, and if we think that they need to modify, we'll go back to the convention. They cannot say they are opposing the national chairman. The national chairman is on his way out. Okay. And the national chairman is not leaving the door of the SDF closed. The national chairman is opening. He's maintaining that the door of the SDF is open.
Was there a hearing on the case yesterday? The case was supposed to be heard yesterday at the...
Well, the legal department was there, and the cases were adjourned. And many
were the militants there? Were they the former, as you
yes, like were the
former militants there?
Well, I hear the former regional chairman of the Littoral, and ex-militant, he was there with some of the auto-excluded militants to defend their case. It's very normal. And I just want to maintain that the national chairman is doing all he can, and the SDF is doing all it should do in conformity with the constitution of the party to maintain the door of the SDF open.
Let's assume that the court gives reason now to the former militant. What will happen with the national chairman? Heed to the decision of the court to reinstate the former militants or members of the party?
Until then, we will know what will happen. So, having said that, I want to maintain that the SDF is very open. The young people that are seeing what is happening in the SDF is because the SDF is a great party. So many times they told you that the SDF is dead, but you are seeing the way people are fighting over the SDF. You begin to ask yourself, are these people fighting over a dead body? Can this just be a dead body? They are fighting, and I want to appreciate those that are the common man down there who is criticizing the SDF on a daily basis because they see the SDF as a source of hope. I'm telling the young people, all what is happening is an indication. Come to the SDF and take position to make Cameroon what you want it to be. A federal Cameroon, a democratic Cameroon in the days ahead is very possible with the SDF. That is the way forward.
Dieudonne, 2 minutes, we don't have much time. Senatorial election, SDF is running in the northwest. And apparently, they don't have that number of councillors that will vote for them. They unveiled their manifesto recently to the CBDM councillors.
Yes, Mr. Lasha, you know, it's very important
very
question.
Briefly, we don't have
yes,
time
I want to use this opportunity to say that, you know, the Northwest region has been noted for not only being a pace setter in this country, but for playing a determinant role in determining, in establishing the political agenda of this country. We know the nature of the councillors, but we also know that those councillors and regional councillors know what we stand for. Those councillors and regional councillors know that even the national dialogue held in this country, the SDF as a political institution is the one that pushed highest for that national dialogue to hold. Those councillors and regional councillors, they also aspire for local governance. Those councillors and regional councillors, they want an adequate content to the special status, and they know, especially at this point in time when there is a major transition, that the SDF is the right political party to its candidates to make sure that that comes to realization. Okay. Those councillors know that it is thanks to the effort of the SDF that we have pushed the democratic evolution of Cameroon to where we are. They know that an end to the so-called Anglophone crisis needs the very important contribution and even pressure of the SDF to make sure that we get a long-lasting solution. They are aware of the needs of their people, and they know that the SDF senators are the right people to deliver. So they will go, and I'm calling on them to go against party discipline. Think about their people. We have told the councillors cannot be the main actors of local development, and you think that they cannot be paid. The SDF thinks that all councillors should have a minimum an allowance per month. You cannot have people come and tell you we'll give 15% to councils from the annual state budget. We are saying, to be very concrete, that they need to give all councils in Cameroon at least 1 billion annually. The central government need to do that. Okay. So we are being very pragmatic, and those councillors know where their interest lies. They know that the solution will come through the SDF, and I can tell you that on the 12th of March, they will vote the SDF list. The nation is at a critical moment of transition, and political party interest will give way to national interest. 12th March, you will see a precedence in Cameroon.
Thank you. Thank you, Chi Dieudonne. You are an young, active member of the frontline opposition political party, the SDF. You were our guest this morning. Thank you so much for leaving Yaoundé to come and talk to us on the stakes of affairs in your party. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lasha, and many thanks again to the founding fathers of the SDF who have given me the opportunity to be able to talk today. If they did not do that, I would not be here. And I want to thank particularly the national chairman who said in 1990, some few days to the launching of the SDF, I will violate the ban and bear the consequences. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that courage, which has still ever since then remained a source of inspiration to us, and we want to promise you that we are going to make you proud.
Thank you to televiewers of My Media Prime Television for watching, especially veteran journalist from Chikie, who was watching us from the nation's political capital this morning. Thank you to Liliane Foguen. The program was produced for us by Christain Tebong. We were Liliane Foguen and myself, Lasha Kingsley, for the presentation, hoping that we will be yours on Monday, God willing. Bye-bye from this end.